analysis server, not needed.
Yeah, before I start my
Then
session,
who needs it? That
there are
is
two
a
things that I would like
requirement
to first
of
make you clear.
BI developers, means those
One
people
is
who work on business intelligence.
our actual
who work
batch
on business,
will be
business intelligence.
at 9
For them,
a.m.
the other three
immediate to
servers
this
are
class, I mean,
needed.
9 p.m.
Other three
Last to
servers.
last week or around
Otherwise,
8 to 10 days
not
back,
needed
we
at all.
started a class at 9 p.m. Already, I have few students in that batch.
Okay.
To add
So now
a
I
few
just
more
mentioned
students into
what is
that
the role of
batch,
each
management
server.
has decided
So
to
you can say
have,
like this.
database
Database server
or like backup
to
sessions
work with
for new
databases.
students.
One role.
So
second is
the session
it
at 8
works
o'clock
with
will be for few days.
SQL command.
For few days.
That's two rules.
Till whatever the topic I
what?
completed for
SQL,
them at 9 p.m.
command.
batch.
That is
the same I'll be
role of
completing you
database server.
at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9 time, 8 to 9 p.m.
And as I already said,
I'll be completing
integration,
those topics.
reporting, analysis, not at all.
Whenever you
needed.
reach to the topic where
we
they
don't need
are,
at all.
a day before I'll update
Not
you.
needed.
So that
then who requires
you
it?
all can club.
Who needs these servers? BI developers.
9 p.m. batch.
Those people who work on business intelligence.
Was it clear for everyone? Did you understand me what
For them
exactly I convey a message now?
But I'll give you some idea, right? What is it? Remember,
Rahman, did you get
integration server?
Was it clear for you?
To implement
yes, sir.
integration server. To implement ETL process. Yeah. What is ETL? E means extract.
Okay.
T
that
means
is one point. Second
transform.
point.
L
There
means
was some
loading.
Misunderstanding about the timing
load,
in the
loading,
batch.
whatever you
So
want, you can
because of
load.
that, I got to start your session
ETL
very
process.
late today.
Extract, transform,
We'll see that
load.
from tomorrow. Your session starts exactly at 8 o'clock.
And another important thing also we say
8 to 9
that
is the time
to
allotted
implement.
for a batch. Okay.
Export
That is one more.
and import.
Let's enter into a subject.
Activities. Yes.
Coming to this SQL,
that is the role of integration server.
DBA.
And what is the role of reporting server?
DBA.
Answer. To generate reports.
Prerequisite.
And you can even call it is
to have knowledge.
An interface
on SQL
to present
server development.
Data or information. This is another point.
Prerequisite, I'm saying. So for what it is?
Analysis
to
server.
Learn.
Simple. To implement data warehouse.
What? SQL server database administration
course.
Compulsory.
Now
should have
your
knowledge
wish,
on
I'm
what
saying,
SQL
your
server
wish.
Development.
Interested? Install all of them. Now your work is only on a specific server.
That you should
then install only specific
aware
server.
of everything on
Why?
development.
Because when you
at least
installation,
you should know
installation.
Basics
when you start
of
installing SQL server, you are provided by all checkboxes. Checkboxes. Database server separate
basics of SQL.
So you have to make a choice.
Compulsory. You
so
should
whichever server you want to install, install. Which you don't need,
I'm not going to explain in our sessions.
You don't need to
write queries.
But another point,
how to create.
For example,
importance of
initially
tables, importance
you may
of views,
importance
of synonyms.
Like what?
How
you
to
don't
write
want to have database
procedures.
Initially.
How to write coding using functions.
After that,
how you work on triggers. These things we don't study.
You want
that
to
is
have
all development level.
You want to have
we have
reporting
something
server. So you can even add that facility also. You can add that feature also. That option also we are available. Two choices you have. Two choices. It all depends on you. Depends on you. How you want to make
the process.
Use
what exactly I said.
What servers?
So keeping this concept or this particular point in view.
One more important.
A quick review.
Let me just highlight
we'll
that
just
also.
try to have for
and what is it?
Server
Remember,
development
types
overview kind of thing you can
services.
overview. I'm not going to explain all the things of SQL Server because that is not needed. We have a lot of things
what do you
to
mean by
focus on
a service?
administration.
Oh, this is one
So target
basic
is administration.
functionality.
So what I said is just to give
this
you
application.
a brief overview.
What application?
Let's come up with something called Introduction to SQL
it
Server.
will open. Services.
Yeah.
It's an application
Overview,
from control panel.
Understand.
Which is used to control services that are running in OS.
Easy to conclude.
Including SQL Server service. You want to check SQL Server service?
Is
okay.
RDBMS
yes, you can
product.
See all our SQL Server services.
Neetu, you have anything to ask?
Here.
No.
All are SQL Server services.
RDBMS
which are made
product.
available. Here. List is there.
From Microsoft.
Yes. Installation done successful. 100% blindly you have to go. You are available with some services.
Introduced in the year.
An interesting thing. Depends what you have installed.
And
what you have
it was introduced as SQL Server
I'll give you list now.
Version.
What is it? One is called
Overview
database
towards its introduction.
engine.
SQL Server what? 1.0 version I mean to say.
Database engine. For whom it is provided? It is provided for
Second
database
important
server.
point I'll say.
Database server
for SQL Server is
connected
used.
with database engine.
Answer is two things.
Core part.
SQL Server
you can
being
call
used
this
for
to
two
be
things. What?
Heart of your server. Heart of
databases.
Your server. If this is running,
second.
think about working. If this is not running, you cannot work with it.
BI.
Two situations.
That is I'm talking about. Business intelligence.
Two situations answer.
Yes. Supports BI.
And one more
business
thing. One more
intelligence. Thing. Two things.
In this database engine, in this
another
database
interesting
engine,
thing that
remember,
you find is
internally
SQL Server
we are made available
by two parts.
By two services.
Two parts.
One is called SQL Server
non-procedural
one.
And
second is called SQL Server Agent.
In non-procedural, you study
SQL Server service it is needed.
SQL
plus what?
That is
SQL Server Agent is also
language. A lot of points are there to discuss specially about
SQL Server Agent is also
usually I do in my development
two services.
In administration, it's of no use talking about
who is connected with database
administration.
Who works on database engine?
But still,
who works on database engine?
I just give
DBA
an overview
and developer. They both work on database engine. Shall I show you?
IBM.
Let me just mention
SQL
that point as well for your
SQL is a product of IBM.
Before I go further, I'll just make a note.
SQL is a product
DBA
of IBM.
plus
one point to remember.
SQL developer.
And then
these are the two profiles. You understand?
Later,
who works?
Used by different companies.
DB engine. Yeah. Shall I show you practically? However, installation part
SQL
we'll discuss at that time. But till then, for your instant reference, just open one tool.
According to their standards.
This is one tool which Microsoft provides to work with SQL Server. Can you see the first option available?
Second point.
Here.
Third, you can say
database engine.
SQL is common database language. Why?
And that database engine is connected with database server.
RDBMS.
Database server.
And finally,
database engine connected
SQL
with database server.
Case.
And one more thing.
Language.
Is it the only server type? No. I said 4, right? I said very clearly.
Second, I would say
database engine.
Procedural.
We have other also.
And this procedural part is about
is it? Yeah, you can check that. You can check
what you call in SQL Server
analysis, reporting, integration. For us, not needed. That is different story.
Transact.
DBA doesn't need this. Developer doesn't need this. That is separate profile. That is separate, a process to deal with. This cannot be a part of our course content. This cannot be a part of
under
developer course content. BI developer is
first to
BI development is
it deals with what program. In SQL Server also we
You
have
understand?
programs.
So all four are
Things with
visible.
programs
Server type.
or coding. And in T-SQL,
And again, I'll highlight. Listen
Microsoft
carefully. Listen
has
carefully.
made available two types of coding. One is called anonymous block, or you can call as unnamed
There is something
blocks.
called integration
And
service.
Second part
this is
is
for
what
whom?
Microsoft
Integration
calls
server.
as stored
Integration
blocks
service for integration
or
server.
named blocks.
Then reporting service.
Named blocks. And one more part also Microsoft has
Analysis
introduced under programming that is
service.
exclusively for
Yes.
.NET developers. .NET developers. And we call CLR
database engine connected with database server.
CLR
and one more is also there. One more.
CLR
one
is
more.
what you call
One more.
common language.
These two are linked.
Yeah.
Linked.
Under stored block,
you cannot
Microsoft
install one from that. Whenever you are installing
about
database
stored
engine,
procedures,
blindly, you have to understand.
stored functions,
database engine
about
selected,
stored
means database server selected. Bus confirm. Both are available. SQL Server service is available. SQL Server agent is also available.
And this CLR integration,
both of them are available. Both of them.
CLR integration, especially for whom? .NET. You should have knowledge.
And there is one more
.NET.
also. One more.
.NET developers can
this
use this.
has to be installed.
What for?
If you install, then you talk about it.
To
what is
execute
it? That is called SQL Server.
Stored procedures, stored functions, stored triggers, etc.
Same story. If you have installed, then it is available. If you have not installed, then it is not available.
Default, it is.
What do you call that service? What is the service called? SQL Server Full Text Daemon Service. We don't discuss this. This is developer's job. In development classes, I'll take up this. This is one searching process which is provided. Searching process.
And how the process is flowing now? What is the flow? You can say like
do you get my point?
User or application. Yeah.
And you know another speciality?
Two ways. It's going to
this
what?
Is the only one. Remember, this is the only one.
It is going to.
It is a
database
shared service. This is the only one.
Application is connected with SQL Server. SQL Server is going
remaining
to
all are
from database. It is getting something
services.
to SQL Server, and that
database
SQL Server
engine is one service.
Is returning that data back to user or application.
Individual.
This is the flow.
Analysis is individual, but integration is the only one which is basically you find.
And
as
under
shared
anonymous block also, Microsoft has made available very basic things like basic programming. You have something we have learned. I mean, we have something to learn about.
And you know, one more interesting thing.
We have something to learn about.
Who works on database engine? Both
these things
DBA and SQL developer. I'm not saying like BI developer will not. BI developer also needs database engine.
To understand.
BI developer also needs database engine. Means about BI developer needs all four engines.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have
let me add here.
Anything that
BI
you want to
developer
ask me from this, if you are aware of those things,
all
in your,
services, all services.
Practice first.
Like DB engine, put up integration, reporting, analysis.
If not, everything to next part of our
all service
administration.
BI
where I'll try to come up with the SQL server that comes in two types of environments. Provides two types of
Can we see them? Can we see these services?
Yes.
100%. Open.
Any queries
services
that you want to ask me
application. Yeah. Just open.
Of whatever I listed.
And you can see now.
The points what I listed.
You can see. SQL Server.
Procedures, I didn't discuss anything.
SQL full text filter daemon launcher
in SQL.
One service.
Procedures
SQL Server agent. One service.
What are they?
SQL Server. One service.
System stored
Analysis Server. One service.
Extended stored
integration services. One more
temporary
service. Reporting services. Everything is available.
Right? And then we talk about user-defined stored procedures.
All our services.
4 categories are there. That is all.
Can you see? All of them are running.
Functions.
All of them are running.
Functions. Scalar valued functions.
All of
inline
them
functions.
Running.
Types are there. Triggers में types are there. Triggers में. We call them as DML triggers, DDL triggers, instead of triggers.
Okay, and one more interesting thing, please. Listen carefully, please. Listen carefully. In order to work with these services,
Triggers,
listen
specially
carefully,
triggers,
please.
to provide
check the services
to data.
Just now I said one application, right? What is it?
To database objects. Reason I'm saying, reason. Why triggers? This is the answer.
Run.
To provide security
what is the application?
For data
Services.
and to provide security for database objects.
This is at
Any
OS level.
Lot are there.
Yes.
Another benefit. You
Which
can
services
have a backup of
all,
data.
All.
You
all
can
services,
have a
including
backup of data
including
without
SQL
a notice of operators.
Not only this, remember one more
point we have.
Especially if you want to work with the services of only SQL Server, then you are provided by one special tool by SQL Server software. Special tool. What is it? Yeah, I'll mention that. Start.
Rahman, is this clear for you?
Run.
You have still any questions to ask me on the
and you have to write here. SQL Server Manager 12.msc. Yeah. And this is the file to be opened if you have installed SQL Server 2014. If you have installed SQL Server 2012, then this file becomes SQL Server Manager 11.msc.
Neetu, you have any questions?
If you have installed,
no, sir.
say for example,
you're clear with what all I said now?
Server 2008, then this becomes 10.
So one more point, you have knowledge on SQL
if
Server?
You are working with 2005, then your file will be SQL Server Manager.msc. Version will not be there. If you have installed SQL Server 2016,
now coming to
then you are
SQL
available.
Server.
13.msc.
What I said, right? What I said,
depends,
it provides
depends.
two types.
Which version you have installed, relevant
what are they?
Application will be available.
One is called.
Shall we open that? Yeah, go for it.
Standalone environment.
Run, and you type.
Yes.
SQL
and second
Server.
Is what
I said
called
services is for all OS services. Everything will be available. Oracle services are there in this. Oracle services.
Clustering environment.
And ASP.NET related services are there.
Standalone environment.
SQL Server related services are there. है ना? Lot of services.
Difference.
But I don't want to see all. I want to see only services of SQL Server.
Will be suitable.
Then you have to open.
Small companies.
SQL Server Manager.
Why small companies? Because in standalone environment, which is created for SQL Server, it has only one production server.
What is the tool called? What is this tool called? Yeah, you can see the tool here. SQL Server Configuration Manager.
Production server.
SQL Server Configuration Manager.
Less flow of data, less number of databases. In that way, I'm saying. Only one production server we have.
SQL Server Configuration
And another
Manager.
interesting thing is all users.
That is the tool.
Will be connected.
You want to open by the name?
Server.
You want to open by the name? Yes, because SQL Server is installed in my machine. You can manage like this. Start.
All will be connected to how many? One single server.
I have SQL Server installed. Then I have a
last
tool
we will see
called SQL Server
representation. I'll show you later.
Configuration Manager.
Here, I just will draw.
Same tool gets opened. Same tool. Whatever I have opened with that run, the same thing gets opened. Same tool. SQL Server Configuration Manager.
.png.
Exclusively services of only SQL Server available through this tool.
Clustering environment. Yeah, this is suitable for large companies because you have more than one production server here.
These are some of the, I know, I gave you a list
more
so
than
that continuation you can understand. If you're working with 17, SQL Server Manager 14.msc. Depends which version you have installed. Relevant configuration file is available.
Software is concerned.
Okay. This is one part.
Till SQL Server 2008.
Yeah. You have any questions to ask me on this? Go ahead, please. Any query that you have.
16 nodes we call.
Regarding
nodes.
servers? regarding services.
Node 16.
Servers, services, linked. They are connected. Server available, confirm. Service is also available.
SQL Server 2012
when you look into this same
onwards,
concept practically, that will give you a good
now we don't
clarity,
limit.
a very good picture.
You can have n number of servers.
Clear of how these things
And
are
here
going
what
to
happens?
be implemented
Here we
in
find
real time.
Group of servers will be made available with a common name and common IP.
Everyone. Neetu, is this clear for you? Did you understand? Did you receive me what all I delivered just now?
And in order to create a clustering setup
yes, sir.
in a company, it is not the work of
Raghava, am I audible to you?
DBA. DBA alone cannot create a clustering setup. It is a work of
you can unmute yourself,
4 to
Raghava,
5
if you have any
categories
questions
of administrators.
If you have issues with your mic, you just can use a chat panel available in the application and
can create a
you can forward your message through.
Like in the sense what? Yeah, you require all of them. Network administrators, we require help of him. And we require Windows Server OS administrator we need. Right? And we need SQL Server administrator we need. SQL Server.
Yes, Venkat. Any queries, Venkat?
It's not a work of one person. It's a work of multiple administrators. When all these administrators together can now create a clustering setup.
Now remember.
But for standalone environment,
now the topic what I am going to, come up with.
To make you understand.
Most important, please remember.
How a standalone environment works.
I'll come up with the architecture.
I'll take one basic
very detailed architecture
to make you understand.
Right?
I'll come up with a small architecture.
Probably it may not be possible to complete in today's session itself. So we'll divide this into two classes. This topic, especially this
is
topic, the one which I'm going to come up with.
SQL
What is it?
Software.
It is called hierarchy
SQL.
of SQL server
software it is. I'll write here so that confusion will not be there. SQL server software. You can call file.
And remember, I'm talking about my experience.
All these are different names provided.
If you are comfortable with this architecture, which I'm going to explain now, believe me, even in real time, you have answers.
And this SQL server
you don't need
has a
anyone's help to
with one
understand
database.
the implementation.
Assume this is database.
Anyone's help you don't need.
What this is? Database. I'll draw
By
the picture of database.
By seeing
which looks
the working
like,
process,
a container.
you people can analyze what is happening in the complete architecture.
This is my database.
Fine. So for this, what I would do, already in our regular batch, I have come up with this architecture, very detailed I have drawn. That we will take step by step. I'll cover how it is going to work for us. Okay? Step by step. We'll utilize
database.
Let me open.
We'll give the name also.
MS Paint.
Sales.
Yes.
DB. Sales.
Fine.
DB.
Open. Batches.
Database it is.
9 p.m.
That will
hierarchy.
Store.
Yes. Most important
sales
point.
Database.
Most important point.
And
take
remember,
your own time.
The information
slowly, but be confident of what I'm trying to come up with this architecture.
And your database.
Every point I'll cover.
Both
every point. Detail I'll cover. Anywhere, even in my explanation, you feel somewhere you got confused. Somewhere something is confusing you. Then and there you interrupt me.
Both ways.
Get it clarified.
Whether it is to
this is
store,
I'm talking about,
or it is
logical level of database. Physical level, when I start
store or it is to get
databases, At that time,
The
I'll
only
explain.
language
Physical
needed
level
is
of
SQL
database.
that creates
Now
a
I'm not talking about
communication
physical, I'm
between
talking about logical level.
SQL server software
Start.
and
Let's assume.
database.
What is the hierarchy?
Yes.
Hierarchy is what? Like what? What is hierarchy? It is like systematic.
Yeah, I made a copy of it also.
Systematic.
Later I'll explain you
Systematic
why I
what?
made that copy.
Step by
Later
step
I'll explain.
approach.
Yeah.
Systematic step by step approach. Systematic step by step approach of what?
Now, this is important now.
Working
this one is important.
SQL server.
Right?
Systematic
Or else
step
I'll
by
keep
step.
this separate.
Both I'm saying. Both.
In another
Approach to what?
paintbrush, I'll keep that.
SQL server
Yeah,
software.
I keep here.
And in that,
Now this is your
remember, in your
SQL server
machine,
software and data.
in your
base.
machine,
Listen carefully,
in your
please.
system,
Then only you'll
obviously,
understand
the
why
base
we are
layer
going for
is
DBA.
always
Why we
hardware.
are going to work on
Base
administration.
Is always what? Hardware.
Now,
yes.
Now important point
in that
is,
hardware,
now
your operating system will
this
be
database
Windows OS.
Is going to maintain
which
the
OS?
sales
Windows
information.
Now you have to compare
sales information.
You have to compare.
Of
like what?
One
See,
website.
If you are installing SQL server software,
for example,
in your personal computer,
this is your.
If you are installing SQL server software in your personal computer,
let me call this.
Remember,
as
two things.
This
two
is
things.
one of
you install SQL server on Windows operating system.
Website.
Where do you install? Windows.
Which website?
System.
Okay, to whichever website you people are familiar.
Shall I explain with this small architecture?
Flipkart.com, Amazon.com, Snapdeal.com,
say for example,
Shopsy.com.
This is your single laptop, single machine.
BigBasket.com.
Okay,
whichever you are familiar.
Machine. Okay, I better call
whichever. But assume this is one website.
Stand alone. Okay,
this website is containing
standalone system.
All these web pages.
Yeah, standalone system. And in this standalone system,
you have web page.
You have
this is one web page.
Windows.
This is
OS.
Yes, these are web
Which
pages.
Windows OS? Whenever you are familiar with Windows
and
10,
this
Windows 8,
is
Windows 11,
on
Windows 7, whichever OS.
Server. Okay.
And in this Windows OS,
the website is running on what?
You
IIS
are
server.
going to install.
And assume yourself.
What I will install? Obviously, I will install.
Put yourself
SQL
in the example
server software.
Yeah. Here you are available. Yes.
What do you install?
You are available
SQL server software.
End user.
Yes.
And
I'm talking about single system. Single system.
End user.
Real time. Same approach for real time. Okay. In real time, no one will install SQL server software on direct Windows.
Now, end user, you put yourself in the example.
What we learn is they install SQL server software. I'm talking about
some shopping
server machine.
You will open
a separate
some shopping portal,
physical machine
and you start
acts as server
products.
Machine. Server machine.
Different categories.
And in that server machine, which server machine? 100% it will be
you go to different categories.
Windows
and
server.
You go to different pages.
Oh yes.
You go through
Windows server OS.
What do you call?
What was this one then? What was this one?
Then you
this was I said now Windows normal OS
of the product.
Normal. I use the term.
You go through. Then
Windows
you make a choice
10,
to
Windows
purchase the product.
11. I use the words Windows 10, Windows 11,
Imagine
Windows 8, Windows 7.
One
then
product.
Here what you're talking about? Here I'm talking about
now,
Windows server
product,
OS.
whichever you have purchased.
Which Windows server?
Whatever the
you got server types. Windows 2003 server, Windows 2008 server.
Based on some price, some amount might have been
Windows
generated.
2003 server, Windows 2008 server, Windows
2012
2012 server.
Product, what you have purchased,
server operating system.
That information is recorded.
Difference is this one.
Here.
Windows server
SQL
OS.
server,
Remember,
that
This
information
is multi-user
is
OS from
transferred
Microsoft.
to where?
Multi-user
Database.
OS from Microsoft.
About
This Windows OS?
you,
Obviously,
this
no doubt in
customer
it. This is
by name
single-user
Rahman
OS from Microsoft.
or by name Neetu, by name
Which one?
Aparna,
Windows
these
10, Windows
customers
11.
have
They all are
purchased
called.
so and so
Yes.
product with so and so price on so and so date
What they are called?
from so
Single
and so
user. Single user.
address, so and so quantity.
Which one? I'll write
so and
numbers
so
also for
price,
reference. 7,
right?
8,
With
10,
so and so
11.
mode of
Yeah.
payment. You know, they made a choice to
I'll
purchase
mention
this
here.
product.
Yeah. And here, server related. I said no, server related these numbers. Windows 2000 server, Windows 2003 server, Windows 2008 server, Windows 2012 server, whichever are available. Some numbers I'll keep. The place is not sufficient. I'll just keep some numbers. Yes. What are all these? These are multi-user OS.
Database.
And what they will do? Yes, they will install.
And
what
now,
they will install?
Now on this
SQL
website,
server software.
Not one user and
where they have
end
installed
user,
server
user.
machine.
Aparna is also working on that website. Neetu is also
and
working
then
on that
surrounded
website.
by client.
Myself,
this is one
Ahmed,
client.
I am also working on that website.
This is one client. This is one client. This is one client.
Many people are working
this is
on
one
website.
client.
Many people are
this
working
is
on
one
the
client.
And they are ordering different
products,
client. different quantity,
clients,
different
These are all
price
clients.
amount, different everything they are ordering.
Do clients? Oh, shall I write here? Clients numbers I'll keep.
And all that information
client
of different
1,
products is
client
recorded
2,
where?
client
In
3,
database.
client 4, client 5, client 6.
And
client
who developed this website? Obviously, by that website might have been developed by one
client
company.
1.
And for that, they might have created one application
client
team.
2.
Application team. And client that company,
3.
that particular website owner,
client
we can call him
4.
client. That particular shopping portal's owner.
Client 6. Yes.
Amazon company's owner, or
6 clients.
Flipkart owner or Big Basket owner, some company, that particular company's owner, he's client now.
6 clients. What do we have then? What do we have in
team?
Remember, we don't install.
Developed that
clients
website.
will not have SQL Server software. Please remember. Then what do they have? They have only tool.
We are end users.
Only tool they install.
We are only not bothered who developed that website.
They are installed by
that website
tool.
belongs
Here
to
they
whom?
install.
Who is the
Here
owner
also
of that
they
website?
install the
Who is
tool.
the owner of that business?
Yes.
And we are least bothered even.
Everywhere. Only tool is installed.
Database they are using.
The tool will support you to work with SQL Server. That's
and which database they are using.
That's it. No other use of the tool. Only
immaterial
for communication.
Our job
with
is
server,
to purchase
with database.
Our job is to purchase the product. That's it. That is our aim.
Yes. Tools. Everywhere you just keep this name. Tool. Which tools also I'll guide you. Which
we are
tools?
Not bothered on all.
Either it is Microsoft provided tool. If not, it is some other company's situation. Third party tool.
We all are working on this website. We all are working on this database. All it is sudden something happened that this server
which OS
has been.
Clients will be on which database. Clients can be on any OS.
Crash.
One client is on Windows 8. One client is on Windows 10.
You don't know.
One client is on Windows 11. One client is on Unix. One client is on Linux.
Company that happened.
Right? One client
happened
is on
Windows
SQL
7 software. That SQL Server software
clients can be on any
OS.
Server is important. Server is on Windows Server
it is not
OS.
Working.
One client is on Windows 8.
What about
one
us?
Client is on Windows 10.
What about all of us?
One client is on Windows 11. One person has Unix system he has in his laptop.
Things will come in our mind
One person laptop is containing
minutes back,
Linux
I
OS.
Something.
And
my information was getting stored.
One system has Windows 7.
Some other product.
They all are connected.
Information is not accepted.
Yes, he is connected to this.
Information is not getting stored.
है ना? He's
So you'll be
also
wondering
connected to this. Yes.
because the other product successfully recorded, the other product successfully
Yes, he's
stored.
connected.
But
He
now
is
when you're
also
talking
connected to
about
the same
now when you're
server.
talking about
He is also
something
connected to the
related
same
with
server.
current product that is
Yes,
not getting
he is
stored.
also connected to the
So
same
obviously
server.
questions will arise from us.
He is also
Why
connected
this
to the
situation,
same
why this
server.
problem has occurred.
He is also connected to the same server.
And companies
Yes.
may also, it's a big problem because if database
Connected.
is not available, then companies has to bear a big loss.
And this is
Companies
the
has to
story.
bear a
Achha,
big
what is the
loss
difference of these two?
because the other
This
product
is called
information is not getting recorded. It's a
network.
loss to the business.
Network
That is the
system.
reason what companies will do.
That was
They
standalone.
will make
That is
a
standalone. This is network
copy.
system. Two different things you're talking about.
They'll make one duplicate.
Standalone system, network
and
system.
they name this as primary
Standalone
server.
system and network system.
What they'll
This
name?
is something you can call
server.
as
Okay,
client server technology.
Yeah, I'll give the names.
Client server technology.
Primary server. Secondary server.
Client server technology. Acha, this story is, yes, this is the working process till SQL server 2016.
Secondary
SQL server
or you can call other
till
name,
that version, this is the story.
Standby server.
Then, from 2017, Microsoft has a very big breakthrough.
Secondary server or standby server?
SQL server 2017, I'm saying. From 2017.
Secondary or
Microsoft has a very major breakthrough in SQL server. What
and
is
one
it?
more thing what I do now.
And now what Microsoft says, right from SQL server 2017,
both I link,
remember, you can even install SQL server software on what? Linux operating system.
Both I link. Primary server and secondary server. I link.
Same architecture. Only one difference.
Concepts are there, but I'll highlight two in it.
Total.
One is called mirroring.
Yes, total you take.
The other is called lock shipping. Yeah.
Bring it here.
These two things I
2017 onward story I'm saying. Yes.
What I
Windows server, however it is there.
Yes.
Windows server, however
mirroring
it is
and
there.
lock shipping.
One more additional thing
these
which
are
Microsoft has made available.
Availability features.
And what it is?
What do you call them?
Remember.
High
not
availability features.
Not only Windows server,
features are there.
even you are going to have.
I repeat,
you are going to have what or which one? Linux server as well. Yes. Yes, Linux. 2016, no.
What are they?
SQL Server used to get installed only on Windows.
So because of
till 2016, the story was that
configured
from 2017 and after that, whatever the releases which Microsoft has made, they all can be
whenever information is stored.
Yes.
Whenever information
till
is
2016
in
only
server,
till 2016 remember please till 2016 only clients used to be on Unix
also stored in secondary
only clients used to be on Unix
parallelly
and from 2017 you see clients can be on any OS server can be also on any OS Windows server is also fine even Linux server is also fine
yes it means
this was a major breakthrough by Microsoft from SQL Server 2017.
Primary server.
Obviously,
from
2019 also can be on Linux server.
Will go to
2021 can also be on Linux server.
Mirroring lock shipping on that.
So even if you have any latest like 2022, that can also be on Linux server. Yes.
Now
that is what the term I use, no? From SQL Server 2017.
Say
left side may I use the word till SQL Server 2016.
Failed.
Till SQL Server 2016.
It failed. If failed.
Yeah, that is what I was saying.
What will
That is
happen?
what I was saying. I was comparing here.
Automatically.
Our actual architecture is this one, but we got migrated to something else.
Our website automatically.
Just because I have come across with this term.
Over.
Did you notice here? I have come across with this word here in this architecture.
Switch over to where?
Windows OS.
Standby server.
Windows OS.
Yeah.
Obviously. SQL Server in a machine, I'm talking about single system. It means I'm talking about stand-alone machine. I'm talking about standalone. I'm talking about which machine?
Yeah.
Standalone machine.
Connection. If failed, I'm saying. If primary is failed for some reason, automatic standby becomes primary. The work of front end user.
Is this clear for everyone? Still anything that which is confusing, you can please unmute yourself, can ask the questions on it. Any question,
end user will not stop.
This part, network part is real time.
And now interesting thing I'll highlight.
From comparison carefully. If left side part is your personal laptop, you can think. Your personal
and now imagine
standalone system, single system.
Just 1 second, please.
Okay. Was it clear? Please confirm, everyone. Confirm me about this. If you're all okay, then I'll go with the next part of that previous architecture. That is hierarchy. Okay, Siddhartha. Okay, Sumit. Venkat, what about you? Neetu, what about you?
So now, what did I say? If failed, automatically what will happen? Standby becomes primary and work of end user will not stop and it is not lost to a business. But interesting thing is, when this primary server is failed, say for example, this has been failed when...
Neetu, you have a question to ask me?
I was not in office. Means when DBA was not
yes,
in
sir.
office.
Sir, actually, I need to ask, like, after 2017, like, most of the companies are using Linux OS or Windows OS.
Both are there. Both. It depends, you know. It depends. What is the nature of work that company is going to do on a database?
Somewhere at 6 o'clock.
You understand? Based on that, it is
one more shift
based on that.
Administrators were there at the office.
But it's, I'm not saying like all are going only with Windows Server. No. Microsoft gave a provision.
8 p.m. Primary
that if you are interested, you can even install it for Linux server.
As a DBA, I'm not at office.
Choice is there, I mean to say.
Then what should happen? I'm not at office.
16 till 16, the choice was not there. At
takes care of the complete process.
We were dependent only on
the
Windows
one who
OS.
Takes care of complete.
We were dependent on. Got it? Is this clear?
So, what to do now? Now,
yes, sir.
What we do, we install.
And I use the word here tool. Okay. Tool I say.
We install one.
So which tools and all? I'll get back to you. This is not over. Coming classes mein. We
this
have
software
tools as
is
one
what
separate
you
topic.
Call
there I'll explain.
Ticketing tool.
Okay. Obviously now, for example, for our I'm saying, for our practice purpose, now we don't have the network environment. So where you all will, where we all will practice, obviously in a single laptop only.
Let me write few of them.
We work in single laptop.
One tool is
you install SQL Server in your personal laptop.
That is called BMC
so I'm talking
Remedy.
About single system then.
Yeah, this is one software. One more is there, Kayako.
And remember,
on
like the Windows operating system, whenever you install SQL Server software,
ticketing tool.
Remember, please remember. Whenever you install SQL Server
and now what happens? Whenever primary
instance.
server is failed, na? Primary server is
instance.
Failed.
What is instance? Answer.
Immediate
installation of
tool.
SQL Server software
you will be
in a machine
one
is called instance.
DB mail, not email. Database.
Now we have this provision again. Microsoft
this DB mail
has given
will be sent to DBA,
procedure
regarding
where
the failure,
you can install
it will
SQL
send that
server
mail
software
to
for 50
client.
times, 50, 50,
It will send the mail
50
to
times here,
application
50
team
times.
so that they all are informed that something happened, primary server
They
got
gave,
failed.
Microsoft gave that facility,
Yes.
that feature.
So that
Same software you install for 50 times,
that
50 times.
teams
Or you
can
make
take,
changes.
client
One version
can
10
take,
times, one more
application
version
team
10
can
times,
take,
one more version
DBA
10 times.
can
Your
take.
wish, your wish. That
Based
is
on his
left to your
experience,
choice.
he can guide the people who are at the office so that because you have only one server working now,
50
that is
times,
failed.
50 times, 50
So
instances.
it depends what type of failure it is. Sometimes,
if you want, you can do like this.
Small
10 times you
come,
install
which is
SQL Server
manageable.
2014.
Which can
5
be
times you
rectified.
install 2016.
Which can be rectified.
5 more times you
Sometimes
install
critical
2017.
issues comes. You should be
2,
very
3 times you
cautious.
install
should be very
2012.
careful
Your
at
wish.
that time.
Provision is 50
Instant
times.
you should take
Now
decision
you don't want to
on
have
rectifying
multiple
that
versions.
problem.
Then do one
Because-
thing, no? Same one
because
version you install
that
for 50
primary
times.
can become standby again. The actual
Why
standby
so?
is working
Why
as
so?
primary.
Because
If
some
that's
companies are there. Some
Actual
companies
standby, which is not
which
primary,
they
if
may
it
not
is failed,
afford.
our
They cannot
standby
afford.
now again becomes primary. There is always a switch
Multiple
over,
servers to purchase.
between primary to standby.
So what they
standby
will
to
do?
primary,
They will
primary
make
to
one
standby,
server.
standby to primary.
They will make one server. In that one server, they will install SQL Server software for
And in this
3-4 times.
total process,
And they will say,
if you just
like
look
this.
into our
What
work,
they will say?
our
They'll say that
job,
this
in this total
installation
process, if you look into
to be
our
used by
job,
Java developers.
you can
This
broadly
SQL
analyze
Server installation
broadly.
to be used
What it
by
is?
BI
just draw
developers.
here.
This SQL Server
from this
software
point
to
to
be
this point.
used by .NET developers. They decide like that.
This
they decide
part
like that. If the
is
company is big,
our job.
It's like,
That
it's like it's a kind of product-based company.
And our
They can
efforts
have
are
multiple servers.
only 30%.
Then they don't go with
That's
it. Like multiple installation,
And
they
this
don't do. They
part,
can install
this part,
same software
left
multiple
side
times on
part
multiple
is
machines.
what you call front
But if they cannot
end.
afford, then one machine may use. Even in
And
my
their
system,
efforts are
I have SQL Server
70%.
software installed for around 4 times now. 4 times. In my
Front
laptop,
end part is
4 times I have
70%.
installed
Back end
SQL
part
Server
is
software.
30%. See the comparison. Whose work is more in the real time, you see. Because daily you don't do mirroring.
First
daily you
time
don't
when
do
you
log shipping,
install,
daily you don't create
you are
database.
available with
one-time
default
process.
instance.
That ticketing tool daily you don't
carefully, please.
install.
First
DB
time
mail daily you
you
don't
call
send.
default
DB mail is
instance.
automatic.
49
Server
times you
file,
install, you
automatic
call
DB mail will
named
happen.
instances.
The ticketing tool will take care of.
Default instance, named instance.
Yes.
First time
This is
installation,
the total
default.
architecture
49 times
to make you
installation,
understand
named.
what is stand-alone environment.
Default instance,
Yes,
named
go ahead.
instances. Oh,
Any
I'll save
questions
that
that you
previous
want to
picture
ask
also.
me, go ahead.
Otherwise, I
If
may
not,
lose that
we'll
one
wind up
second.
our session.
Let me save that
Next
picture
class,
also.
I'll come up
Yeah.
with
I'll just call this by
roles
some
and
name.
responsibilities of administrator tomorrow's class.
SQL
Yes, please. Neetu,
server.
you have any questions to ask me on this?
Client
Go ahead.
server
Rahman, what about you?
technology. Yeah, just for
Yes,
reference
Rahman
point.
Khan.
And here I will write, instead of direct 2016, I'll just add one word here. Here I'll add one word. Till SQL Server 2016. And there I mentioned already, from SQL Server 2017.
Rahman Khan, can you hear me?
Mm.
Okay, right. Fine.
First
Right,
time
right.
you install, what do you call?
You have any
Default
questions to ask me
instance.
on this?
49
No,
times
sir.
you install,
You're
what do you
clear,
call?
comfortable,
Named
understood everything what I said?
instances.
Yes, sir.
First time is
That's fine.
called default
Okay.
instance.
We'll wind up the
49
session.
times you call
Tomorrow I'll
named
start the class
instances.
exactly on time at 8
Ah.
o'clock or
And
8:05.
every
max,
time
max
you
5 minutes
install, na?
gap. 8:05
Every
I'll
time,
start this
every
session.
time you install,
And
na,
tomorrow's class,
it will ask
I'll
you.
come up in continuation to it.
It
So
will ask
tomorrow
you.
will
What it will
also
ask
be a
to
demo
provide
class for
name
you.
of the
A
instance.
free
Means
session for you.
it will ask
can
you to
attend
give
that
some
session
name,
as
some
well.
name for
Then
the
after
installation.
listening to that session, you
For
can
the
make
installation
your
part,
decision. You
for
can
that
make your
installation
mindset
of software,
to continue
it will
with
ask
us.
you to give
For that
one
you
name.
have to register.
That name is
Then we'll
called
go with our
instance
regular
name.
sessions.
For
Same
default
at 8
instance,
o'clock.
default
For few
name
days,
that you
session
cannot
will be
edit.
at 8 o'clock.
It is by default.
Whenever you
MS
reach to the
SQL
topic
server, it is by default.
of the batch at 9 o'clock,
For named instances, choice is there
so that
for
you can start.
It will give you to type instance name, whatever the name you give.
Before I start my session, there are two things.
For default
that I would
instance,
like to first
default, that is fixed
clear.
name, MS SQL Server. Whenever you find that name,
One is
instance name, MS SQL Server, blindly you have to understand
actual
that is a default
batch
instance
will
installed.
be at
In place, I gave
9
examples here.
AM.
Server 1,
Sorry,
Server 2, Server
immediate
3,
to this class,
Shareef,
9
Poonam.
PM.
I gave some names.
Last
Whatever the
week
names I
or
gave,
around 8
these
to 10 days
names
back, we started a class at 9 PM.
my choice.
Already I have few students in that batch.
Named instances.
To add a few
I
more
gave server 1,
students
server 2.
into
No, you're
that
not interested. You
batch,
give your own
management
names.
has
No problem.
decided to have,
That is choice.
you know, re-demos or
that's
like backup sessions.
It's not yet over.
For new
Tomorrow's
students.
class, I'll continue with respect to the same topic, provided
the session
with
at
the
8
completion
o'clock
of it
will
as
be
well.
for few
Tomorrow
days. For few days. Till whatever the topic I completed for them at 9 PM batch, the same I'll be completing you at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9 time, 8 to 9 PM. In this timing, I'll be completing those topics. Whenever you reach to the topic where they are, a day before I'll update you so that you all can club into 9 PM batch. Was it clear for everyone? Did you understand me what exactly I convey a message now? Rahman, did you get me? Neetu, was it clear for you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Clear.
Okay, that is one point. Second point, there was some misunderstanding about the timing and the batch. So because of that, I got to start your session very late today. We'll see that from tomorrow, your session starts exactly at 8 o'clock and will wind up at 9. 8 to 9 is the time allotted for our batch. Okay. That is one more point. Right. Let's enter into our subject. Coming to this SQL Server DBA. DBA. I would say prerequisite to have knowledge on SQL Server development. Prerequisite, I'm saying. So for what it is to learn. What? SQL Server Database Administration course. Compulsory, you should have knowledge on what? SQL Server development. I'm not saying, that you should be aware of everything on development. No. At least you should know basics of SQL Server development. Basics of SQL Server development. Compulsory you should know. Yeah. Because I'm not going to explain in our sessions of how to write queries, how to create the importance of tables, importance of views, importance of synonyms, how to write coding using procedures, how to write coding using functions, how you work on triggers. These things we don't study. That is all development level. We have something, special to learn in administration course. You understand the process, right? What exactly I said. So keeping this concepts or this particular point in view, a quick review, we'll just try to have for SQL Server development. Overview kind of thing, you can say. Overview. I'm not going to explain all the things of SQL Server because that is not needed. We have a lot of things I said to focus on administration. So our target is administration. So what I said is just to give you a brief overview, let's come up with something called Introduction to SQL Server. Yeah. Overview, I'm saying, please clearly understand. Overview. Yeah. What it is, easy to conclude, I can say SQL Server is RDBMS product. Yeah, Neetu, you have anything to ask?
No.
You're clear? Okay. RDBMS product from Microsoft. From Microsoft. Introduced in the year 1989. And it was introduced as SQL Server 1.0 version. Thus, overview towards its introduction. SQL Server what? 1.0 version, I mean to say. Yeah, version. Yeah. Second important point I'll say, what for SQL Server is used? Answer is two things. Two things. SQL Server being used for two things. What? One, manage databases. Second, supports BI. Yeah, that is I'm talking about business intelligence. Yes, supports BI. Business intelligence. Two things. And another interesting thing that you would find is SQL Server consists of two parts. Yes, two parts. One is called non-procedural and second is called procedural. Yeah. In non-procedural, you study about SQL, that is structured query language. A lot of, points are there to discuss specially about SQL that usually I do in my development classes. In administration, it's of no use talking about SQL because administration part is different. But still, connecting with this, I just give an overview. Remember, it is a product of IBM. SQL, I mean to say. SQL is a product of IBM. It, in the sense, SQL is a product of IBM. Right? One point to remember. Right? And then to discuss, you can say, later used by different companies and they made SQL available in their products according to their standards. Yeah. Second point. Third, you can say SQL is common database language. Why? Since it gets understood by every RDBMS. And finally, I would say SQL is case insensitive language. But that's it. Over. This is all about non-procedural part. Second, I would say procedural. And this procedural part is about T-SQL is what you call in SQL Server as transact SQL. What do you call this as? Transact SQL. Yeah. And under T-SQL, remember, first point, it deals with what, programming. In SQL Server also we have programming. Deals with programming. or coding. And in T-SQL, Microsoft has made available two types of coding. One is called anonymous block, or you can call as unnamed blocks. And second part is what Microsoft calls as stored block or named blocks. Named block. And one more part also Microsoft has introduced under programming that is exclusively for .NET developers. .NET developers, and we call CLR integration. CLR integration. CLR is what you call Common Language Runtime. Yeah. Under stored block, Microsoft has made available about stored procedures, about stored functions, about stored triggers. And this CLR integration, especially for whom? .NET. You should have knowledge of .NET. .NET developers can use this. What for? Same story. To execute stored procedures, stored functions, stored triggers, etc. Default, it is disabled. And how the process is flowing now? What is the flow? You can say like this: user or application. Yeah. Two ways. It's going to what? SQL Server. Two ways. Then from there it is going to database. Application is connecting with SQL Server. SQL Server is going to database. From database, it is getting something to SQL Server, and that SQL Server is returning that data back to user or application. This is the flow you find. Yes. And under anonymous block also, Microsoft has made available very basic things like basic programming. You have something we have learned. We have something to learn about exception handling. We have something to learn about cursors. These things are there. Overview, you can say. Overview to understand very basic introduction about SQL Server. Yeah. You have still anything that you want to ask me from this? If you are aware of those things in your, practice perspective, you can just put up your queries. I'm here to resolve them. If not, I'll go to next part of our administration, where I'll try to come up with the SQL Server that comes in two types of environments. Provides two types of environments. Yes. Yeah, please. Any queries that you want to ask me on this? Of whatever I listed. The points what I listed. Procedures, I didn't discuss anything because procedures mein types are there. Types in SQL Server. Procedures mein types are there. Yeah. What are they? One they call system stored procedures, extended stored procedures, temporary stored procedures, right? And then we talk about user defined stored procedures. 4 categories are there. That is all about coding part. Functions mein types are there again. Functions, scalar valued functions, inline functions. Types are there. Triggers mein types are there. Triggers mein. We call them as DML triggers, DDL triggers, instead of triggers, logon triggers.
Hmm. Triggers, especially triggers to provide security to data and security to database objects. Reason I'm saying, reason. Why triggers? This is the answer. To provide security for data and to provide security for what? Database objects. Any other benefits? Lot are there, lot. Another benefit, you can have a backup of data. You can have a backup of data without a notice of operators. Yeah, that is another point we have. Another point. Comfortable? Rahman, is this clear for you? You have still any questions to ask me on any of these things? Neetu, you have any questions?
No, sir.
You're clear with what all I said now? Do you understand all the points?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So one more point. Do you have knowledge on SQL Server? You people, you have knowledge on SQL Server? Okay. Right. So anyways. Now coming to SQL Server. What I said, it provides two types of environments. What are they? One is called standalone environment. Yes. And second is what you call clustering environment. Clustering environment. Two types are there. Standalone environment, clustering environment. Two types. Difference we have, difference. Standalone environments will be suitable for small companies. Why small companies? Because in standalone environment, which is created for SQL Server, it has only one production server. It has only one production server. Yeah, because it has only one production server, so people are, less people are working, less flow of data, less number of databases. In that way, I'm saying. Only one production server we have. And another interesting thing is all users will be connected to one server. Yes. All will be connected to how many? One single server. One server. Last may we'll see. And the representation I'll show you later. Here, I just will draw architecture of standalone environment. I'll come up here. .png file. I'll come with the architecture here. Yeah. First comparison will do. Clustering environment. Yeah, this is suitable for large companies because you have more than one production server here. Here, more than one production server we have. More than one production server. And as far as SQL Server software is concerned, till SQL Server 2008, Microsoft used to provide 16 nodes, we call 16 nodes. 16 servers, 16 nodes. And from
SQL Server 2012 onwards, that also they removed. Now we don't have limit. No limit. You can have n number of servers. And here what happens? Here we find group of servers will be made available with a common name and common IP address. Yes. And in order to create a clustering setup in a company, it is not the work of, alone DBA. DBA alone cannot create a clustering setup. It is a work of 4 to 5 categories of administrators. 4 to 5 categories of administrators can create a clustering setup. Like in the sense what? Yeah, you require all of them. Network administrator, we require help of him. And we require Windows Server OS administrator we need. Right? And we need SQL Server administrator we need. SQL Server administrator we need. It's not a work of one person. It's a work of multiple administrators. When all these administrators together can now create a clustering setup. But for standalone environment, no, we don't need. Yeah. So to make you understand how a standalone environment works, I'll take one basic architecture to make you understand. I'll come up with one small architecture. Okay. Chalo. Known things I'll write first. Known things. Okay. Say, for example, this is your SQL Server software. Okay. This one is what? SQL Server software it is. I'll write here so that confusion will not be there. SQL Server software. Yeah, you can call RDBMS, your wish. All these are different names provided. Yeah, SQL Server software. RDBMS. Yes. And this SQL Server software has a connection with one database. Okay. Assume this is database. Yeah. What this is? Database. I'll draw the picture of database, which looks like, a container. Yeah. I'll draw here. Yeah. This is my database. Yeah. What is this? Database. We'll give the name also. Sales DB. Sales DB. Yeah. Database it is. That will store sales database. And remember, the information between SQL Server and your database, both I'm saying, the information between SQL Server and database, both ways, whether it is to store or it is to get. It is to store or it is to get. The only language needed is SQL that creates a communication between SQL Server software and database. Yes. Yeah, I made a copy of it also. Later I'll explain you why I made that copy. Later I'll explain. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is important now. This one is important for me. Right? Or else I'll keep this separate. In another paint brush, I'll keep that. Yeah, I keep here. Chalo. Now, this is your SQL Server software and database. Listen carefully, please. Then only you'll understand why we are going for DBA. Why we are going to work on administration. Now important point is, important point is, this database is going to maintain the sales information, sales information of one website. Okay. Say, for example, this is your right. Let me call this as, this is one of the what? Websites. Website. Which website? Okay, to whichever website you people are familiar with. Flipkart.com, Amazon.com, Snapdeal.com, Shopsy.com, BigBasket.com. Whichever you are familiar. Whichever. But assume this is one website. Okay. This website is containing all these web pages. Okay. This is one web page. 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 Yes, these are web pages, I mean to say. Web pages. And this website is running on IIS server. Okay. That website is running on what? IIS server. Okay. And assume yourself here yourself. Put yourself in the example here. Yeah, here you are available. Yes. You are available as what? End user. Yes. End user. You're available as what? End user. Okay. Now, end user, you put yourself in the example, please. Yourself in the example. Now, interesting thing, you'll understand in a better way. Now, you will open some shopping portal. You will open some shopping portal and you start exploring products. You go to different categories. You go to different categories. You go to different categories and you go to different pages. You go through, what do you call, product information. Then you select, you see the rating of that product, lot of things you go through. Then you make a choice to purchase the product. Okay. Imagine you purchased one product. Now, that product, whichever you have purchased with whatever the quantity for that product, for that quantity, based on some price, some amount might have been generated. No? So that information about the product, what you have purchased, that information is recorded here through SQL Server. That information is transferred to where? Database. About you, this customer by name Rahman or by name Neetu, by name Aparna, these customers have purchased so and so product with so and so price on so and so date from so and so address, so and so quantity, so and so price, right? With so and so mode of payment, they made a choice to purchase this product. And that product information is available in database. That product information is available where? In database. Got it? And now on this website, not one user, I'm saying, end users. Aparna is also working on that website. Neetu is also working on that website. Rahman is also working on that website. Myself, Ahmed, I am also working on that website. Many people are working on that website. Many people are working on the website. And they are ordering different products, different quantity, different price amount, different everything they are ordering. And all that information of different products is recorded where? In database. And who developed this website? Obviously, by that website might have been developed by one company. And for that, they might have created one application team. And that company, that particular website owner, you can call him client, that particular shopping portal's owner. Amazon company's owner, or plus Flipkart owner or Big Basket owner, some company, that particular company's owner, he's client now. Yeah. One application team has developed that website. That website is running on IIS server. And we people, we are end users. We are not bothered who developed that website, and that website belongs to whom, who is the owner of that website, who is the owner of that business. And we are least bothered even which database they are using in the back end, and which database they are using, how the data is getting immaterial for us. Our job is to purchase the product. That's it. Our job is to purchase the product. That's it. That is our aim.